Okay, so in multiple classes, obviously I use a lot of different tools. One of them, which we don't cover too much, but I actually use it to create some of the projects. So that's why I'm going to show it to you. There's a tool called CAIN, C-A-I-N. Okay, you can get it for free. So that's fine. You can go to oxid.it. Okay, now this tool is like kind of a known hacking tool. Do not install it at your work. Don't do stuff like that, okay? And yeah, like even the icon's weird. But so I'm going to show you a couple things you can do with it. First of all, you can listen in on traffic, okay? Inside of CAIN, right here at the top, you got a little, looks like a network card. That's the sniffer, okay? Now, this is not going to work great because half of our network is down. The link from vSphere out is up, but the link from vSphere to here is down. So the reason I know it's down is we've been complaining that the internet's been slow, specifically the wireless. I'm getting 50 meg download and 0.1 meg upload. So we were troubleshooting it for days actually, and finally this morning we pinned it down to that link. So they're working on it, and it's totally down now. So I'm going to, turn this thing on. Okay, so that is enabled now. Okay, I did activate it, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, so now you can see it's activated because it's kind of inset. Now I can go over here to my network, and I can even right-click. Actually, let's go to the sniffer tab instead. I can go in here and click the plus button, and I can tell it to scan all the computers on my network. And what it's doing now is it's just listening for everything on the network. It's building a very large table, which I'm going to stop, because I don't want to go here forever. This is every machine. It kind of is like Nmap if you're seeing Nmap. Okay, doesn't give you as much information as Nmap, but it does give you some. Okay, and I can see I got a Dell machine, I got a Cisco machine, I got a VMware machine, a bunch of Dell machines. I got some equal logic, so it's actually telling me quite a bit about stuff already. You can also break passwords with it. You can break landman passwords. FTP's on this one, isn't it? Come on, where's FTP passwords? Okay, it's gonna be down here. Okay, since the sniffer is actually going, I'm going to bring up a terminal window. Remember when I logged into the FTP site that time?
Now, would this be a better program than Hydra to break passwords?
Oh, no. Okay. Basically, I just logged in incorrectly to that website. Okay. And CAIN happened to be running on my network. And you'll see it actually recorded the username and password that I use. Okay. CAIN, what you can do with it is you can perform a man-in-the-middle attack. You can do what's called an ARP spoofing. So you can literally run this from your laptop in IHOP, very easily capture every password that goes across the network. So it's kind of scary. And it's called ARP poisoning. And so what happens is you look here, the only thing I did was an FTP. But if there was some web traffic or IMAP or POP3 or anything else, it would have got those as well. It will not break SSL, so don't expect to get that. But it does get some. You see, just by having it on, we were able to get that. Okay. So again, it shows me the hosts on the network. I think I can find more about it. Yeah, I can get we already got the host names. Okay, let's continue on. Now, ARP. What's ARP stand for? Address Resolution Protocol. Okay, I'm going to log off of here. I'm going to type ARP all by itself, and it comes up and tells me how to use it, like most tools do. Okay. Problem is they're kind of in this weird.
It's got APR there instead of ARP.
Where?
At the bottom, you got APR instead of.
That's it. ARP.
And the other one's and the other one. Right
Oh.
there.
That's cool. Wait a minute. I don't know what does it. That's weird. I've never noticed that actually.
I used to know what that means, but I don't think.
Oh well.
I think it means something specific.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue on with this for now. Now, if I go ARP-A, what it does is show you my ARP table. Now, I've shown you this already, I think, a couple weeks ago. But what this is doing is it's resolving the IP addresses to the MAC addresses of the machines I know about. Okay? And remember over here we scanned hosts and we got a whole bunch of IPs. And we got a whole bunch of MAC addresses. And that's where we really got it from. It's in our ARP table. ARP, well, the entries will stay there for 2 to 10 minutes. If it's used infrequently, it'll only stay there for 2 minutes. If it's used frequently, it'll stay there for 10 minutes. This can be spoofed. Okay? ARP, Address Resolution Protocol, sucks. Okay? It has no security built in. If I was to say, my MAC address is whatever number on that list, it'd be like, okay, good. It just listens. It believes you. So that's an issue. Okay? There are ways to secure ARP, but it's not done very frequently. We're not going to cover how to do it, because I've never done it, to tell you the truth. Okay? You can actually make static ARP tables even. Or maybe Tinker was worried about something. They could actually make a static ARP table that says this IP goes to this MAC, but that'll be a lot of work. Okay? I remember way back when I was at the network place where he works now, when I first got brought in there, it was a long story, but we manually assigned every IP address in AWACS on every computer. Manually did it. Can you imagine how many we mistyped? Because, I mean, there was a list in one area. So somebody was putting in the computer here. We would go out with the list, put it in the computer here. It was a massive amount of typos. And then the subnet ended up changing. So guess what we had to do? Do it all again, manually. The entire network a second time. And I kept saying, why aren't we using DHCP? This is can't. Why can't we? Because certain machines have to have special IP addresses. I'm like, so it's called a reservation. It's not an issue. You can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can do that. But that was a whole other story. But now they use DHCP, don't you guys? Okay, thank God. Because who knows how many times have been changed since then. But, okay. But with ARP, all it's doing is linking the number to the MAC address. That's all it is. But since I told you it can change, okay, that's an issue. Okay. Now, with ARP here, okay, what we can do is I can go in here, and I'm going to sniff here, and I'm going to go with, see, half the computers aren't on the network. I'm going to add just a couple of them. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to add them.
What's the name of the tool?
CAIN. CAIN.
I mean, APR is the name of the ARP.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, they just, that's what that is.
ARP poison rod. There you go. That's what it is. Okay. So I'm going to add, let's just pick someone here. You can very easily add them. Now,
I can't see.
ARP poison red. That's up at the top here. See this little nuclear button? You can really screw people up with that. Okay, you really can. Because what happens is, say I'm sitting at IHOP, okay? Everybody at IHOP's using their free wireless. Basically, you're connecting to their router that goes out. Let's pretend IHOP's router is that address right there. 10.10.254.254. That's the router at IHOP. So everybody connecting at IHOP is going out through that router. Y'all know how routers work. It's called a default gateway. You have to go out through a doorway, which is the default gateway. Well, I can go in with this tool and tell the world that, hey, you know what? I am... Our firewall down. Okay. I can actually tell them that I'm that gateway. So what happens now is I just told the machine that was the 40... See, it's not going to work right. All the machines aren't on there. But there's no traffic either. But what I can do is I can go in and tell it I am the gateway. So imagine me sitting at IHOP with my laptop, scanning all the computers, all these, you know, the numbers I just like, all these right here, adding all of them to my list like I did right here, and then telling each of them I'm the gateway. Okay? So instead of you guys exiting through the doorway or the gateway, you're going to be going through me. So what I would do is I would tell Misty I'm the gateway. Then I would tell the gateway that I'm Misty. So what happens is all of Misty's traffic, instead of going out the gateway, is now going through me. See how that works? Very scary. And I can do it for all of them. Every computer in IHOP. Just by turning it on and turning it off. Turning it on and turning it off.
It even has a multi-select mode.
Yeah, you can even do multiple at a time. Now the problem is, a lot of SSL certificates now will detect it, and will start coming up with weird errors. But if you think of the knowledge level of most people, they're going to be like, oh, okay, I really want to serve Facebook. Okay, to the error. You know that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of.
And all you have to do is just inject portions.
Right. And what I did for the project, which I can't demo all of it, but I was just pinging. Y'all know what ping is. What's ping stand for? No, that's the protocol. Packet Internet Groper. Okay? Yeah. See, I should be able to ping out at least. Okay. Okay. What I'm doing when I ping something is I'm sending a packet to the gateway. The gateway is receiving it and sending it back to me, saying, I got it, so on and so forth. Well, when I do this in the middle, we're basically going around. So for this project, that's all I did is I think I pinged Google or somebody. Where did I ping? Let's try Google.
Change the packet size.
Hold on. Yeah, I can ping Google. Yeah, I couldn't do. It depends on which network I was on. Like I can't the row state network. I can't ping Google, but on this other network I can. And to change the packet size, it is -L. You can actually go -L. Won't take it that big. Yeah, there it is. So let me show you the difference here. Well, heck, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. There's Google, pinging Google. Okay, now I'm pinging Google with a much bigger packet. Okay, see the difference there? You see the 32 bytes compared to 2048 bytes? That's a lot more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening but that's kind of a denial of service attack if you think about it. But enough people were pinging Google, yes.
Why is the time delay different between the two?
Because it's a lot.
But still, it should be the same. They both have. I don't know.
60. It looks like maybe it's going through an additional
It's not.
thing. Would you like some kind of security device?
Oh, great. Now we killed it. Oh, no, it's back now.
The first one timed out, and the rest. Remember, Ken, bad up.
Yeah, I don't know why it's decremented. Time to live, we talked about that before as well. That's the number of hops before the packet gets thrown in the trash. Okay, depending on your operating system, they start at different numbers. Okay, I think Linux starts at 64, and different ones start at different numbers. Okay, so after it goes across routers,
but depending on size, it'll also route different. It'll route a different way as well. So it may
that could be.
It may choose a different way to route
because it was a bigger packet. Okay. Now there's also a command called trace route. Okay. Okay. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna stop that. Stop. Up. Okay. Okay. I'm running trace out to my house. Okay. You all should know where I live by now. By the way, I don't know if you drive down Charter. Anyone drive down Charter Road lately? They're redoing it. Okay.
Yeah.
We had the road and then my fence. Okay. Fence and road on the other side of the fence. The road is being brought up higher than my fence. Literally. I went out there the other day and they're literally raising the road higher than the fence. So what the hell good is my fence going to be? And so, yeah, they're raising it up a whole bunch. It's literally already raised. If you were to go drive down there, if you're on top of that, there's Ken's pool, is their tire yard, my privacy fence is, that's down there on the ground.
Just make a stockade.
Okay, but, so I'm going to do a trace route to my house, okay? So how do you get to my house? Anybody? Car. Which direction would you go? Probably go east. Okay, so let's see which way the network would take us to get there. I haven't tested this, but in the past, it would actually go through Dallas and St. Louis, and I'm like, where are you going? What trace route does?
Because it goes by how much traffic is on the network or on those lines as well.
It could be.
So
with trace route, it sends the first packet out with a time to live of 1. It gets to the first router, I'm expired now, comes back and says I expired. Then it sends the next packet out with the time live of 2. Then it gets to the second router. Then the time live of 3 to the third router. Now, actually, you know what? That sucks because we're on the same network now. Row State and my house are all Cox now, so it didn't even leave the Cox network.
Nope.
Darn it. Well, that demo sucked.
Go to Magic Waffles.
Magic Waffle? Well, let's just go to Google. So the question is, are we going to go to Google in Prior, or are we going to go to Google in...
India.
I don't know. So you'll see it hit the first router. That's the router over by the vSphere system. Then it hit the second one. That's the external side of it. Then it hit our OneNet connection, which is the 164.58.224.78. I don't know where the hell it went. Well, this demo's sucking.
That's...
Oh. Zombo.com. Let's go there. So normally you can see a bunch of names in it. Come on. Y'all been to Zombo.com, haven't you?
Why didn't you check what
Oh,
the...
oh,
why didn't you
oh.
check the IP addresses again?
Hold on. You've never been to Zombo.com?
Yes.
This is Python class.
Oh, yeah. You can do anything at Zombo.com.
This is Zombo.com. Welcome to Zombo.com.
It goes on forever.
You can do anything
That's all it
at
does.
Zombo.com.
After 5 minutes, it tells you to buy a t-shirt.
The only limit is yourself.
What
Welcome.
led you to Zombo?
I don't know, but it's a great demo to use for school-age kids.
How did you find this site?
I have no idea. Okay, so we went to Zombo.com, and that went through. See, none of these. Normally, they used to have names like, St. Louis or Dallas or something. So I don't know where these went. But Traceroute can actually tell you how to get from here to wherever the other network is, and it can change. Okay. There's also, if I did this. So when I go to Google, do we all go to the same Google? Well, there's a lot of different Googles out there. What's that called? Anybody? Somebody has to know. Round robin.
Oh.
Okay. If I do this command, watch those numbers. They're going to rotate.
Right there's the Google you went to, and you were freaking out that you didn't get to Google. 164.58.87.26.
Well, yeah, because that's got to be prior. It's close. But what round robin is, can you imagine if the entire world hit one web server for Google? They'd be dead. So what it is Google has regions, like Pryor, Oklahoma is our region. And these are the IPs we hit there. Then different regions have different IPs. But they rotate. Every time someone pulls up Google, you'll notice that number's changing. Because they're rotating. They have multiple servers that are all synchronized showing the same website. So it prevents Google from going down. Okay? So, for the project I did in pen testing, what I did was this ARP poisoning. I was pinging somebody outside of our network, whoever it was. I don't know who it was. And while I was pinging it, I would turn on ARP poisoning. So basically what would happen was, all of a sudden, instead of Misty going to the door, she'd be going through me. Leave it on for a minute. Then I'd turn it off for a minute. And turn it on for a minute. So what happened is I'd keep sending, I'd send a message to Misty, say, hey, I'm the gateway. Send a message to the gateway, say, I'm Misty. So it goes through me. Then a minute later, I'm like, hey, the gateway's over there again. And Misty's over there again. So it's nice. It actually cleans up after itself. So it keeps doing, I did that every so often. So if you look at the traffic, you'll see this group of traffic where the MAC address changes. Okay? So it's kind of funny the way that works. Okay? Because what I do is I tell Misty I am now whatever the MAC address is of the router. And since the ARP protocol doesn't care, no security built in, it's like, oh, okay, nice to meet you, router. And it continues on. Okay? So very, very cool the way that works. Now, to turn it off, you just turn it off. Okay? Another really awesome thing you can do is, didn't one of the projects, I think it was forensics, steganography, wasn't there a MP3 you had to listen to?
Yeah.
Well, I made that with this tool as well.
Wait, was it Stega we had to... Oh, yeah, it was.
It was in, oh, come on, which one did I make it with?
It was the clue.
Where is?
Freak
Oh,
me out a
it's
little
right
bit
here.
with this on her.
Yeah. If I had, like at Rose State, we got the IP phones going to my computer. If I had an IP phone connected to this computer right now and had this going, every phone call would automatically be recorded as MP3s. Automatically. I don't do nothing. It just does it.
There's no security on it at all.
Why?
Fair.
Like,
What?
it's just UDP.
Yeah, it's just broadcast traffic. Not broadcast, but it's not a connection protocol. There's a lot of stuff. It's like a lot of stuff out there is just broadcast traffic now. Printers in the past, the majority of them were all UDP or connectionless traffic. So, but yeah, if you had that on, it would literally just be recording all the phone calls now. So, kind of scary. But you can do passwords, which I showed you. I showed you the FTP password. You can actually manipulate specific routes. We're not going to do that, but you can actually go into a router and tell it, go here, go there, go the next thing. This is a somewhat malicious tool, but it's not really made. They didn't make it to go out and break into people. They made it so you can test things, figure things out, fix problems and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Okay, I showed you the host tab already. Cracker. You can break passwords. You can break LAN manager passwords. I don't know if let me see if I can load the local one. I'm going to, since I'm on LAN manager, I'm going to add hashes. This is a password hash from my local system. Maybe. There it goes. We have an administrator account. Okay, we have no passwords. Handy. But if I had passwords, they would all appear there, and then I could do a dictionary attack upon them, and like that, and they're all empty. Let's actually, you know what?
Passwords are empty.
I'm gonna go make one real quick.
Passwords are empty, and then you have the hashes there.
Let's find, where is the
If you have
stupid
empty passwords,
add a
you have to
user?
put the hashes being
Over on the left side. User code.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, let's add a. I hate this stupid GUI. Where's add a user? There's not a user? Okay, we're going to do it the right way. Go to manage. Come on, computer. It's very slow. It's probably because I got this darn thing sniffing everything too. Let me turn that off temporarily. Okay. Come on, computer management. Okay, there's computer manage. I'm going to go into local users and groups. I'm going to go into users. I'm going to go in here, create a new user, and the username is going to be Ken. The password is going to be very tough. Okay, user must not change password, and we're going to say create. There we go. Now we have a new user account. Now we're going to go back into CAIN right here. We're going to dump the passwords again from the local system. So now we should get Ken. Okay, there's Ken. Why is it saying it has one? So what's empty? Oh, the NT password is empty. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to now do a dictionary attack on, is it the LM hashes that are there? Okay. And do start. That was handy.
I think it was the
Was it the other one that had something in it?
empty passwords.
Group.
Or empty.
This one? Let's try this. One hash loaded. Come on, it shouldn't take long. Why is it not doing any?
Well, at least now you got 0 1 instead of 0 0.
Yeah, but it should have.
Do you have a password file to run it again?
It should. The dictionary should be preloaded. It might not be preloaded. Yeah, there's. Okay, there might not be a preloaded dictionary in here. And I don't have one to add, and it's under one of these options you add it. Oh, I don't remember where it is. Well, that's handy. Don't see it. But in the pen testing assignment, I do tell you exactly where to put the file. But you can break them. I just don't know why I don't have a dictionary one on this. It's probably only partially installed. Test password. We don't want it. Add to list, remove, manage accounts, known, active sync, dictionary attack. Where is the add password? Okay, let's just do, see if that one does it.
It's the other.
It's the other one.
Yeah, root for NTLM.
Okay. Trying. Okay. So now I'm doing a brute force act, which did it already do it? Oh, it did it already. Wow, it did it. See my password? It's puppy. Okay, it was pretty easy. So I figured dictionary would have got it quicker. Okay, but I don't know why the dictionary is not loaded with this one. Okay, so tool is kind of nice, and you can actually tell it which list to start with and all. But you know, you're welcome to play around with this. You do need it in pen testing, and it is. I do use it to create projects under the classes. So it also is used in forensics to create projects, stuff like that. So let's see what else can I show you. There's the cracker tool. You can also break a lot of other passwords. Okay, PWO files, some Cisco files, some MD5, a lot of different stuff you could break. QuickBooks should be on here. See, there's Access Database right there. If you have an Access Database, you just point to it and it breaks it for you instantly. Okay. If you have all kinds of different stuff up here. Here is there's Siskey decoder. But I got a call from an accounting firm a few years back. Their main accountant person quit, and they would not share the QuickBooks password with them. So they're freaking out. What are they going to do? They need to get into the system. So they called me like, Ken, we need this password broken. What do you charge us? So I said $150. Like, okay, no problem. And I went on the internet, typed in QuickBooks password breaker, downloaded one real quick, added it, done. It was in like 10 seconds. So did I call them back? No, I wait till the next day. That way you think I actually worked on it a little bit. But and there's so many of these tools out there that can just break stuff like that. So like Access Database. I told you about the Rose State lost their password. We have a spreadsheet of all the vehicles on campus. They lost the password to get into the file. They really needed to get into this. They gave it to me. It was car. I'm like, seriously? I literally put it in the tool as soon as they hit start done. I'm like, that was too easy. So, yeah, it was car. So, all right, but there's the cracker tool. You can use trace shot. I don't think this will do the graphical in here. Let's just try it. Let's go to Microsoft this time. Okay. Don't think it's going to show me much of anything. There's actually graphical tools out there that'll do trace route and show you where it is on the map and everywhere where it's going. But this one won't do that much.
It said it had country and all that stuff.
Did it?
Right. That name, destination.
Here's the country. The RIPE. Why is it on the RIPE network? No. RIPE's bad. It's bad. Why would it be on the RIPE network? It can't be.
IP void block reserve.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not even getting any IPs. So this isn't working right. So our system could be partially down at the moment. So, all right. But there's traceroute. Let's see what else is there. There's wireless. If you have a laptop with a wireless adapter in it, run this tool. You can go out and scan all the wireless out there. And this I don't know if this version breaks WEP or not. One of them does. It might not be this tool. Maybe it's NetStumbler that does. One will actually help you break the passwords on there. But, maybe that's the one. One of them does. I can't remember which one it was. But if there was a laptop with a wireless adapter, you could click scan. And I don't have one. It'll instantly come up and show you all the different networks out there, and it's kind of cool. So, a lot of cool stuff you can do with this tool. Now, I want to show you.
Do you have that had remote breaking passwords for remote desktop?
It does have that, yes.
Do you have anything that you can remote into that won't be too confidential? It's up at the top, at the very top bar,
right there. But I don't know what system I could get into. No, because all mine would show you my password, which would never be able to be broken. It would take years. Yeah, so now I don't know what. So let's see. I want to show something else here. I had an email from a student today. Imagine that. Did I have Wireshark on this one? Good. I'm going to do it on this actual system here. They asked a question which I thought was pretty simple. But the question was, what is the difference between SYN flood and HTTP flood? Okay? Anyone have any idea what I'm talking about? Well, I'm going to capture some traffic in here. All right. And I really need to do something. Here, let's go do something. Ooh, Linda Rose. Go to Google. Oh, I know where we can go. Oh,
Gracious.
Welcome to SummerCon.
all right.
This is SummerCon.
Leave it running.
No. All right. So there's that. Now, whenever we get this TCP traffic, if we open it up down here in the flags area, you see where we have the SYN. Let me explain. I know some of you is going to already know all this, but there's something called the three-way handshake. Okay, that's where I'm going to talk to Colton. So I say, "Hey, Colton, I want to talk to you." He's like, then he says, "Okay, Ken, I'll talk to you." So that would be so I would send him a SYN or a synchronize. He would send me what's called an acknowledgement. Yeah, Ken, I'll talk to you. Then I'm like, okay, good, let's talk. So what I did is I sent him back a SYN and an acknowledgement, and then we start communicating. So the beginning of each communication is that handshake, three-way. HTTP is actually a five-way handshake because we have to send certificates back and forth. We have to share a key. We have to select which certificates, which encryption we're going to use, so it's a little bit more involved. But you can look at packets and see if this was a SYN packet. Was it a SYN packet? No, because it's got a 0 on it. Was it an acknowledgement packet? Yes. Okay. Well, there's a tool out there. That's Umpicon. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type in Longcat. All right. Longcat is not Longcat. Okay. Now, some of you have probably seen this tool before. It's probably in a project you're working on. Is it this week? When is active memory capture?
Which class?
Forensics. You're working on that one right now. What are y'all doing in forensics?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Who's in forensics? I don't even know what the hell.
I'm in.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're working on this project. Okay. But Longcat, again, it's not. Okay. Okay. Longcat is a tool as well. Okay. It's what's called a DOS tool. It's also an HTTP flutter, a SYN flutter, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, and there's actually a video of it in here. I hate when they do that. There it is.
Right,
There it is
active memory
running.
capture.
You can go in here to this tool. I know it's hard to see, but you can put in an address at the top and put in which type of protocol would you like to do. And this one says SYN flood. So what the tool will do is it will hit this with probably 40,000 packets per second, but it'll only be a SYN packet. It's like me saying, "Hey Colton, I want to talk to you. Hey Jaden, I want to talk to you. Hey Missy, I want to talk to you." So I would send it out 40,000 times, and each one of you would say, "Okay, Ken," and then you're waiting. Because I don't ever talk to you anymore. I don't ever finish the three-way handshake, so you're kind of like, "Hello? Hello?" Have you ever get those phone calls like, all of a sudden I'm getting a lot of them today, I don't know why. But basically they make, the SYN flutter makes the connection to the target system and it leaves them hanging. And what's the timeout of the connection? Anybody? Default for TCP? It's 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So basically that connection is going to hang there for 10 minutes. So if I do it enough times, what's going to happen to that system? It's going to die. So if I hit this system with 40,000 packets per second, each one of them being a SYN flood, or basically a SYN packet, I don't ever acknowledge it, that can kill the system. Y'all agree with that? Okay. HTTP flutter is the same basic thing, but you're doing over port 80. Okay. So it's kind of the same, but it's really the way you can tell. See, a SYN flutter is an HTTP flutter, but you can select a protocol right there to do it with. I think you can actually do acknowledge even. I'm not positive. I don't have it here where I could show you. Actually, hold on. Maybe I do. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Maybe we can see this. No one's ever seen the inside of the system before. This is a very special system.
Oh yeah.
This is the system used for the project. So I'm going to get out of here while the other one's starting up. So close that one out. This is a Windows XP machine, very small amount of memory. Now this is Lab 8, which you might be working on now. So yes, this would be very beneficial. Inside here, I actually have Longcat. All right. So there it is, UDP flood and SYN flood. So let's pick this. So if I do this, now this is set to somewhat slow. See that? Okay, and did it do it? Oh, there it goes. See? Now I'm going to stop it. I want to bring up Wireshark to show you. I can't bring up Wireshark. I don't have Wireshark on this system.
It's right there.
It's right there. It's right there.
Shh! Don't make me look stupid. Shh. Okay. So I'm going to bring up Wireshark. Now this system doesn't get used very much. Come on. See, you thought it was there. It's not even loading. Hello? Come on. So it might not be running after all.
All of a sudden,
I was doing something.
5 of them open and it crashes.
Yeah.
That's the problem with XP.
And it has, like I said, there's only 256 megs of memory on this machine.
That might be a problem.
Well, I did that just so I could capture a small size file. Oh, there goes it starting. Look at that, twice even. Isn't that handy?
That's got to be more than just twice.
Well, maybe only twice.
I'm not sure I can't even close one. So, come on.
And now they're both gone.
That's handy. It might come back. We're going to give it a minute here. We're going to pause the recording till it comes back.
It's like
Okay, so we are recording again. Let's make sure we're recording. Yes, we're recording. Okay, Wireshark finally came up, so I'm going to pick an interface here. Oh, Wireshark came up twice. Let's go. You go away. Maybe I unpaused too quickly here. There we almost there.
Welcome to.
Okay,
No, it's
here we go.
refreshing.
Come on, you can do it.
Windows XP.
Is it actually capturing something? Oh, wait, we got it again. Or is that the same screen? Oh, that's the same one.
You did restart the recording, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's actually, okay, it's going. Okay. So now I'm going to bring up Longcat over here, and I'm going to tell this thing to go fast. Maybe. Wait, fast is this way, isn't it? Come on.
Reset is a different word or different reset.
You should see a bunch of packets
I
now.
heard read.
Wow, this is going so slow. Okay. Alright, so it's sending out ungodly slow. There it goes. Now we're going to go faster. You know, maybe it's HPing 3 that can send out 40,000 a second. But this one can still send out quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to stop that and stop that. So what we have now is a bunch of packets, and if you look, they're all SYN. See, SYN. See that right there? So what this tool did was it sent out all these requests to this IP address, and it's answered the phone every time. And it's like, hello? No one's there. Okay. Now I can also go in this tool and change it to UDP. Then it would do the same thing, but it'll be UDP. Okay. Oh, that one's a bunch. Ooh, let's capture that one. Capture interfaces. Sorry for the slowness here, but yeah, imagine me trying to make this lab. I had to make sure get everything ready. Go.
You feel your pain.
Okay, we're gonna start. And we say no, we don't want to save. But you all saw all the SYNs. Those were all the SYN packets. I did a SYN flood. Okay, here we go. Waiting. Now we're going to do some UDP floods. And Start. Wow. Stop. Okay. So now we should have a whole bunch of UDP traffic. See all this UDP traffic?
Ridiculous amount of UDP.
Okay. So that's how you could find out what this type of traffic is. This is obviously a UDP flow because it's a whole ton of UDP traffic with no responses coming back, no nothing. The other ones had a whole bunch of SYN packets with no ACKs. If it was a regular communication between me and Marvin, it would have been a SYN, an ACK, a SYN ACK, and so on and so forth. But since it was just SYNs, there was a SYN flood. Okay?
How would you stop that if you were the one being attacked?
Actually, when I worked at an ISP downtown, this is back around 2000 time period, we sold T1 lines for about, was it $1,000 a month. They were very expensive. But we had this one customer who's this lady and her son. They didn't work. They had way too much money for anything. But they would just sit there and play on the computer all day long. Back then when IRC was popular, Internet Relay Chat, well, they would go out and terrorize these chat groups. Well, what happened was they really pissed off a bunch of people, and they all denial serviced them. But since we were their ISP, guess what happened? They basically killed us. So what we had to do was we had to call Cox in the middle of the night. You know, people complain Cox doesn't answer. Trust me, if you got a business account, Cox answers the phone. And they come out in 30 minutes. But they came out with their laptop, and they basically captured traffic and saw the source and started blocking entire Class C networks, one at a time. I think they ended up blocking 16 of them, because what had happened was they did the distributed denial of service, but they were coming from groups of networks. So they started blocking those different groups of networks one at a time until the traffic subsided. Then they waited a few days and they turned it back on. But that's what you would do. You would look at this and you would say the source is whatever. So then you would go in there and block that source. There's really nothing, or add an entry into your firewall or something. But you probably want to do it at your uplink, like we had to get Cox to do it. Because if we did it at our router, that means every packet was still hitting us.
So if you wanted to do this and make it harder for them to shut you down, use a VPN as your source?
But still, they could see where a VPN, what he's talking about is a virtual private network. Okay, two different modes. One's called tunneling mode. One's called transport mode. Transport mode is like a truck. You can see it driving, but you have no clue what's in it. Okay, but you can still see the packet. Okay, tunneling mode is like the tunnel. You know the ending points, but you don't know what's going through it. So even if you did it through a VPN, you still have an endpoint. So you can see they're all coming from this specific endpoint, so you can still kill that one endpoint. So, I mean, that's what's nice about this. They really can't, years ago there was a, I don't know if it was a virus or a scam out there. It's like, oh, your IP address is visible. Click here and we'll help you hide it.
So the ISP would be able to shut it down even
Yes.
if it was on a different ISP?
Yeah, oh yeah. What Cox did, Cox saw where they're coming from, and they blocked way up there, way where Cox's network starts, I guess, and blocked it at that point where it was coming into Cox. So, but yeah, I mean that deal where they used to say, oh, you're showing your IP address. It's like the number on the side of your house. You have to have an address. Can you imagine if you built a house and didn't tell the post office your address? You wouldn't get any mail. That's stupid. So your IP address has to be visible. So it's stupid. Okay. So there's a UDP flood, and I don't think I'm going to do any more in here. So normally this one does a SYN flood. So now you know how to tell what a SYN flood is. Okay. And you can also do, I think this is some weird website, but you can change the website it goes to. But again, it's not. And so many people, when I ask them what is this tool, they'll say it's a cat. No, it's not a cat. You all saw the internet. It did say it was a hacking tool. You all saw that. Proof that it's really a hacking tool, and we're using it. So, all right. So let me get out of this tool. Quit without saving. Okay. And there's other tools in there you can't see their secret.
What testing tool?
Exactly. All right. So,
That's how you get around it.
showed you a little bit about what CAIN does. We showed you a little bit of a couple other things in Wireshark. And I showed you what a very long cat looks like. Okay, there's some seriously long cats. Look at those things. But so many people put that as the answer. I said, what is the tool? It's a game or it's a cat? No, it's not a game or a cat. But what people do is they type it in and they think it's the game. Long cat, the game. You ever heard of that game? I've never heard of that game.
No, but when I was taking forensics, I came across all of these. It's like, what do you mean it's a game? It's not a game. I'm looking at the cat. It's not a game.
Okay. All right. So beneficial, and you all saw how you can tell. And I showed you down here the flags, but you can also look over here. You can see this has the push and the acknowledgement, and this has just the acknowledgement. And if you go down to more, like this has the push and acknowledgement, push and acknowledgement. Yes.
Okay, so somewhere higher up in your lower numbers, there's going to be a send going out.
Correct. There should have been the initial packet going to Zombocom.
Okay. Not going to be just acknowledgements.
Correct. I don't know where it is. Yeah, at the very beginning, it would be there, yes. So there's a sin and an ACK. There's some sins right there. That's probably where we started the connection to somewhere. There's the sin, and the sin acknowledgement, and acknowledgement. So, yeah. So whatever website this happens to be, and I can also do follow TCP stream. Oh, this was Google. I must have brought up Google at that point. Okay. You can see whatever all that stuff is. Okay. But yes, you're right. The sin is up there. And the acknowledgement and all that stuff. So, actually, let me go back to that one more time real quick. I want to follow TCP stream. So this should be, there's the sin, then the sin act, and the act. That's me. Hey, Colton, I want to talk to you. And he's like, all right, Ken, that's his acknowledgement. I want to talk to you too. Then he send, and then I acknowledge him. Those are the three. That's the three-way handshake. So, cool tool. You can just take any traffic, capture, well, not necessarily SSL, it'll be different. Some regular traffic, you do follow TCP stream, then you can actually look, and up at the top here, there should be the three. Actually, this one doesn't have it, but this one, remember I started the traffic before this came up, so it might have already been there, but yeah. So, answer anybody's questions? A little clearer? Yes?
What's the five-way handshake you said?
The five-way handshake is for SSL. Okay, and that's the packets.
Well, is it
These.
also SYN,
Yes.
to additional?
But you'll see there's the client hello right there. That's okay. I'm connecting to my bank. That's when I say, "Hey bank, I'm Ken. Here's a certificate." Then the server does the same thing. Now, if I look down here in that,
Hello.
right, the server hello, the client hello, and under the SSL section right here, there's the TLS version. And there's the client hello. We start talking, and you will see all the different stuff. Which algorithms we're going to use, which server I'm connecting to. Okay. Elliptic curve is an encryption algorithm. Okay. The signature is probably RSA. Is it RSA? Okay. There's the hash algorithm. So we're using SHA-512 using RSA right there. So yeah, that's what it is. The whole server hello and the client hello are the additional components where you're sharing all that. Because when I connect to my bank, I want to know it's really my bank. So the bank has to give me its certificate, and I got to give it one back. Basically, we share one. And the one I give back to it is the one stored inside my browser. If you inside your web browser right here, and if I go right here, come on, this, come on, show me this. There it is. This will actually show me whoever's I'm connected to. Google's certificate. Okay. Then if I was to go in somewhere in my browser settings, somewhere in my browser it's stored there too. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's actually, it's going to be, I don't have MMC on here, do I? Oh, I do. So I really didn't take care of this one. Let's add a snap-in. Let's go to certificates. For this computer, do computer certificate. Okay, that. Then if I open up these certificates, and you will see a whole bunch of them. Let's go like enterprise trusted CAs. There's GeoTrust, that's who I used to use. There's GoDaddy. So if you ever surf a website that has a GoDaddy certificate installed, here's my certificate that I would send back. So basically, say my bank first used GoDaddy. My bank would send me their certificate. Then it would have to match up with this GoDaddy certificate I got stored on my local PC. We would share those back and forth, and we'd talk and make sure they're the right thing, then we would start communicating. So that's the extra 2 steps in there.
Does it say the certificates and the cookies that are on the machine? Or is it just
This is actually, I don't know exactly where it's stored on my machine. It's not in the cookies, because even if you dumped your cookies, they're here. But I can look at this, I can see when it's valid to, and all that stuff. So I used to sell certificates. So they're,
Certification path, or in details? Is it?
yeah, but that's going to be to the CA. Yeah,
it's just the root CA, isn't it?
yeah, it should just be, where is the path? See the path? Oh, duh. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they are a root CA now. So they're a certificate authority. I used to sell for Komodo, which they're probably in here somewhere. My certificates, Komodo went through GeoTrust, so I had to have 2 certificates. But it's no big deal. I mean, paid $49 compared to $349, and it's still a valid cert, so I do it. Or why not do it? So there we go. We got some Rose State certificates installed. Now he works at Tinker. If he was to send something digitally signed to me, guess what would happen? I would be able to read it, but I wouldn't be able to verify its authenticity, because military certificates are not managed by a civilian certificate authority. They're managed by the military. Like if I try to go to my TRICARE to sign up for my doctor's appointment, it's like, whoa, this certificate is not valid. Well, it's not that it's not valid. It's not issued by a civilian authority, so I can't verify it. See, these are all the ones that I can verify. You're not going to see the DOD in here. DOD's not there. So when I go to TRICARE the first time, there's the thing at the top, this is your first time coming here, click here, install this certificate. So they walk me through installing the DOD certificate on my local PC to get rid of that error. So, kind of cool. Good question though, by the way. Any other questions? All right, we all somewhat happy? You might have learned something?
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you hadn't done Lab 8 yet, I gave you like every answer. It's not a cat. All right.
It's not a game.
Yeah, it's not a game. It's not a cat. All right.
It's a long cat.
Any more questions before I hit stop? Are you happy? Oh, Patrick asked a question earlier. He emailed me. He asked the question, since our CNSS certificates are going away, what's going to happen? Well, the plan is, not in stone, the plan is we are going to be issuing our own. So 4016 is a risk analyst certificate. Okay? CNSS getting rid of that, yes.
Well, I was actually asking, during the period where they're still issuing certificates and we start,
Right.
are we going to get both?
Yes, you would get both, yes.
That's
Yes, you would get
that was
both.
my question.
Yeah, okay. But we're planning on offering our own, but nothing's been through paperwork. Yeah, but you will get both. And the way we do that, because people always ask me, is at the end of each semester, we generate a list of who gets what certificate, and then we print them all out. But we usually wait a couple weeks because, believe it or not, grades aren't due for like a week to a week and a half after classes end. And then sometimes they change a little bit. But we usually wait a couple weeks. Then Cameron prints them. Well, I tell Cameron to print them. So a month later, when Cameron finally prints them, then he gives them to me. Then 2 months after he gives them to me, I actually sign them. Then we give them to the president. She gets them back the next day. Then you can have them. That's the process. That's how it really works.
Because the president's so much more.
Yes. No, sometimes they're quicker than that. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Can we see somehow see the progress of the certifications?
No longer. In the past, we would actually go into the Cert Manager website, but now we actually track them through Rose State's website. But I mean, just go to cybersecurity, search for cybersecurity, and it'll tell you which classes are required, and you can look at it and say, oh, I need this one, I got that one, got that one, got that one. It's really that easy. I can show you where it's at.
You are required security commerce, right?
Yes. If I go here and I type in, there used to be a direct link to it, but they can't figure out how to fix it. What the heck? Why do we have ads now? No, it's stupid is what it is. Okay, if you go here and you click on certificate program, then if you click on this guy right here, it'll tell you exactly which class is required for each one. Then you can very easily say, okay, I got this one, I need that one, and then when you're done, just when you're going to get them. So, pretty simple to do. That's right on the website.
Required for all of them.
Okay? Everybody happy with that?
So how does that work, sir? You complete all those classes and then you get those.
Right. So if you take computer security, it's required for all three. But if you do, these three, but you don't have SSAC, but you do have network security, and then you get this one. So basically, for 4012, you need to have every class with a check mark.
Yeah, I see.
But if you get 4016, which is all of them, you're going to get the other two as well. Okay?
Computer security.
What is the
Committee on National Security Systems. Do you have a question?
Are you ever gonna add the other ones?
The Rose State
No,
ones?
the one, the two,
I can't anymore.
oh.
What happened was, years ago, back in 2004, we got our first one. Actually, we got our first three. Then we got our second three. Okay? Then when we renewed all six. But they said, oh, you can't renew the second three, or the first three, because they're not expired yet. So they only renewed the second set. Then they stopped renewing. So now we can no longer get the other ones renewed.
Can we still get them from them?
No, you can't. No, the government is no longer certifying anybody. Ours are good until 2017. So, I don't know. Somewhere in 2017. But, and at that point, I mean, it's actually right behind my door in my office. I got it on the wall. You can come look and see the date on it. But, until then, we can issue them. So, even though other ones were up to date, they just won't let us renew. And no one can renew. So, whenever OKCCC's, Tulsa, everybody else is expired, they can't get new ones. The reason for that is they created a website where it listed like 5,000 criteria for your certificate. For instance, 4011, you had to know what RJ45 was. You had to know every type of connector. So that's what it's like. Where do you teach them what an RJ45 connector is? So we had to say, this was taught in Introduction to Networks to be a lecture and a hands-on project of making cable. We had to do that for all 5,000 of them. So we had to tell them that information. Then they had to take that information to verify, make sure it all looks right, verify with the class syllabus and all that. And then they approved us, and then they would say, okay, Rose State, you can now issue certificates. But that took someone to design their website. It took a website. It took a database on the back end. It took many people to manage it. It took all these people. And there's no money. So guess what they did? Cancel it. Saved all that money.
This is going away.
Oh, it is going away.
So what's
The plan was to replace them. See, initially, 4011 covered something called Tempest. Tempest is terminal emulation. Remember our old CRT monitors? You could actually see what's on the screen from a mile away. Okay? It's covered in there in 4011. But the point was, in the entire United States, everybody, there's 100 people that work with Tempest. That's it. Total of 100. So they're like, why should we keep teaching a topic with such a small amount of people learning it or needing it? So they were redoing it. So 4011 was becoming 4021. 4012 was going to be 4022, all the way up to 4026. That was the plan. I was actually at a conference in San Diego when they're like, all right, it was all draft. It was ready to go. And the very next year, they canceled the conference due to funding. So then 6 months later, I went to another conference, and there's no word of it. No one even mentions the name. So someone asked the question. There are two people, Karen Lecter and Lynn Hathaway, were in the conference we were all at. And someone says, can someone tell us what's happening with the replacement for the certificates? And you could hear chirp, chirp. There was no noise at all in there. They're like, there's not a single person here who knows what's happening with the certificate program. It just disappeared.
those lifetime?
But, yeah, they're a lifetime. But you can no longer get them. I mean, you can get these. But, after that, they're gone. So finally, we actually tracked down Lynn and Karen because we were in another breakout session with them. They're like, yeah, we're doing away with it. Even though they were already, the new ones were already ready, they're like, no, we're just getting rid of the whole program. They were thinking about transferring it to the Department of Education because this was managed by the NSA. They were thinking about transferring it to the Department of Ed, but that would be like someone totally new taking over, who knew what would happen to it, so it basically just went away. So that's why they're going away. What we are going to do is, for instance, 4016 is a risk analyst. They did create this document that says, to be a risk analyst, you should know this stuff, which is covered in those classes. So we are creating a Rose State certificate called risk analyst. Because right now, say you want to get a job at Tinker and they're looking for a risk analyst. They can hire someone with a 4016. And once this goes away, they can get that workforce document from the NSA and say, hey, if you want to hire a risk analyst, they need to know these 4,000 things. Can you imagine the HR department saying, okay, you need to know all 4,000 topics? It's going to suck. So what we're doing is we're taking those 4,000 topics, making sure they're covered in those classes, so that when we give you a certificate from Rose State saying you're a certified risk analyst, then you can go to Tinker, if they got an opening for a risk analyst, and say this certificate meets the government's workforce, whatever the heck the document's called. That's where we're going with it.
Workforce subsection, whatever.
Yes,
for
exactly.
Risk analyst.
Yes.
Do you have to take those classes here to get those?
Yes.
Yes.
The reason is we specifically told them we were taking certain topics were covered in certain classes. How do I know, like computer security at OSU,
Yeah.
totally different. If I teach it at OSU, it's the same class.
Okay, yeah. It would be the one that you're.
If you take it with me, I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
But if you take it from anybody else, they don't teach the same stuff. So yeah, if you take it with me, you're good. Take it okay at Triple C? No, forget it. All right. Good? All right. Any more questions? All right. You're out of here.